Hello there, and welcome back to the Incline. I am here with Monique, and her shop is called
Motique.
She is the Monique in
Motique.
Motique at the New Black Wall Street Market, right, in Stonecrest, Georgia.
Correct.
Excited to interview you, Monique, at your shop. And
Thank
just
you.
wanting to get your backstory. Like, how did you get into fashion and apparel for women, mostly, right?
All right, correct. Yes. So I have been in business in Georgia since 2010. I started precisely January 26, 2010. And that's when I started my business. I started out as a women fashionpreneur. I've always been in retail, always loved retail, really started in retail back in 99, 2000 almost. I was working in Macy's and
haven't we all worked for Macy's or one of the department stores,
Macy's,
right? I did the same thing in high school.
Parisian, I worked for them all. Dillard's. So I've
Uh-huh.
always been in retail, and for some reason I've always liked fashion. I come from a long line of female seamstresses. My mother could sew, my grandmother could sew, all my aunts. And so they were very creative.
Were you that little girl in the house just kind of watching mom or watching grandma?
Not necessarily watching mom and them sew, which I should have been. More so curating. I'm more of a curator. So I pick out pieces, kind of put my touch on. A lot of it is a reflection of me or somebody in my family or a friend. So my inspiration is all over the place. Yeah. I had a store here in Georgia. Two of them, three stores actually, in Conyers and Newton County, closed them back during the pandemic, and I'm reopening now. I actually reopened store space location this year in February. So I'm excited for New Black Wall Street. This has been a heaven sent for a small boutique like mine. And I'm growing out of this space again. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. You know, and this is what we want to motivate people to understand on the incline is that we know the pandemic affected a lot of businesses,
yes, it
right?
did. It did.
But you see, Monique is still inspired.
Yeah.
Right? She just said, hey, let's reset.
Absolutely.
She's finding that being here at the New Black Wall Street Market, right, is very helpful to her business.
Very helpful.
And you're able to meet a whole new clientele of people,
Whole new clientele of people right next door. I've been right here in Conyers and Newton, which is right here, literally one exit up. I started my business on Sigmund Road, and just re-meeting people again. People come back and say, oh, you're here now. And I have a footprint from here to Alabama, which is a blessing. Social media. I actually watched the birth of Facebook come about in my business. So I have Facebook documentation from my very first store back when Facebook was a newbie. Yeah. So we're just growing with time. Smaller spaces, in my opinion, are going to be the future for businesses, period. Everybody's condensing, getting smaller, getting more boutique. And just look at the Dollar Generals, to be example, popping up where it would have been a Walmart 20 years ago. Right. So I think
that's an interesting statement because even myself, I like boutique shopping.
It's easier. It's niche. You can you're forced to get in and just get out. You can get the whole look. I specialize from everything from the head down. So you can get a pair of shoes, jewelry, complete outfit, and not have to go through a lot of fuss. So.
Yeah. So can you give some of the Incline viewers, just some of the background part of running a boutique? Like, how do you pick out your pieces? How do you handle inventory? What do you do when something's not selling?
True. Yeah. Well, so you're going to go through something not selling. You have to be patient with it, especially as a business owner. What I've learned in fashion is just because it isn't moving now doesn't mean it won't. And the scary thing in it is, I've been sitting on these dresses for a year, 2 years. Keep sitting. We are so much further ahead once we get in the retail side of the customer that we can outpace them. So what's in spring now, what we have been sitting on for a year, by next summer, everybody's wearing it. and we turned around and sold it or gave it away out of being impatient. That comes with time.
Yeah, a little bit of fear causes you to act
Being
too
small.
quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Being small is the best way to go. It keeps you from getting out into a lot of debt. I don't like a lot of pieces. So I try to get one size run. That's a small through a 3X. If you're doing it that way, that's about 6 even pieces. The difference in a boutique and a store is in a boutique, once it's gone, it's gone. You don't get 20 of them. You only get 6 to 10.
And most shoppers like that, right? So
They
I know when I go to a
appreciate it.
boutique, it's like I know it's not going to be a whole rack full of the
Same dress. Yeah, exactly. Even if it is, it's in a couple of colors, and then that's it. Most women are, now that I'm noticing, it's kind of like one of those situations where you get used to the big conglomerates like TJ Maxx and Marshalls, which I love. But after a while, you learn to appreciate a smaller shop. Post-pandemic, the sanitation behind it, the care, the customer service, the intuitiveness of the woman to the other woman. Somebody looking at you and saying, no, you probably like a black dress or a gray dress as opposed to a hot pink one.
Right.
So
some true customer service care.
Yeah.
Right. Which is important because sometimes, like myself, you'll walk into a boutique and you're not quite sure if a particular piece, you may like it, but you're not sure if it is a reflection of you. Sometimes it takes someone like Monique to say, yeah, I think this will look great, and you know, some of the accessories that will go with it.
Or being comfortable enough to connect, being comfortable enough to say, hey, you know, I'm rebranding, I'm re-imaging. I've got a promotion at work, so I can't look like, you know,
like that.
I can't look like a teenager anymore. I've got to grow up. You know, I meet a lot of women who are postpartum, post-surgery, and they need a change. They need a regroup. Or, you know, you wake up one morning and, oh, I'm 40. I can't wear these anymore. You know, so, and some women do that and some don't. But you want to be able to have a connection with someone. And that's not for everybody. Some women don't. Some women need a connection with a store where they can go in and say, I know I can go in here. I can trust the product. I found a brand, and, you know, was comfortable.
Absolutely. So what's behind the name?
Motique.
How did you come up with Motique?
Well, believe it or not, I started out as boutique stiletto.
Oh, okay.
And that was back in my 20s.
All right. All right.
So need I say less? I started out as a shoe store, and then clothes automatically just had to come into it because it was like, okay, shoes, it was too niche and it was too expensive. And once you sold out of a certain size based on your demographic or your area, you were really stuck with a bunch of inventory that really you could have moved 50 times had you had 8 8s and 8 10s, but you don't. So fast forward to probably about 2015. Boutique Stiletto just wasn't working for the brand. It was too one-sided. It was too many words, a lot of people had pronunciation issues. And the word boutique in my name, because everybody just kept saying Monique's Boutique. And I was like, okay, Monique's Boutique, Motique. So I took my first and last initials, which is MOMO, which is Monique Moore, and I created Motique. And it just, it works better for me. It keeps me from being in just one little box. It allowed me
in the
to
shoe
be,
lane, right?
Yeah, it allowed
you to expand.
There you go. Perfect.
I like it. I like it. A little variety.
Yeah, and then it opened me up to more things. I'm able to not just do clothing, I can do events, because Motique can be more than just clothing and retail.
I like how you're saying that. So you're thinking outside of the box, outside of the boutique. You know,
Absolutely.
What are some of those other avenues?
Well, I'm always daydreaming on some what ifs.
I like it.
I'm one of those people. I can see a space, and then I could have one of those that's so Raven moments where I go off into a dream space. Oh, I could do this and do that, and then I have to come back and say, okay, you're a mother still. You still have a job. you know, and so but I just see a lot of different things I could do, and it allows me to be flexible. the brand, the name is branding beyond just retail. I can get
Sure.
into event planning. If I wanted to host something, I could, because
You
it's
hear this, right, on the incline. These are jewels and dimes that Monique is dropping, right? Because sometimes people just kind of get stuck in their space and they're not sure if they can branch out and be creative.
well, the beauty is you will get stuck, and sometimes
Mm.
when you're stuck, you're forced to work through.
Mm.
You're forced to. Stuck is not bad.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck can
Gives you
sometimes
time
mean
to think
stop,
and plan,
because
right?
you will get stuck. You will
Yeah.
stop. You will go through. You will venture out. Sometimes you're stuck to meet someone.
Mm.
Sometimes you're stuck to regroup you. Sometimes you're stuck to financially pull up. So it's some
Right.
things that, yeah,
Well, you
but
see, you got to come and meet her at the New Black Wall Street Market. That's why I wanted to interview her, because it's more than just a boutique. It's more than just you walk in and she's selling you
absolutely.
clothes,
You're
but
going to get
she,
something other than a dress when you leave out of here. I'm going to make sure I try to pour into your spirit, and I've tried
mm,
to, my goal is to, leave good cheer, good tidings with people.
So
And
what does this mean? This business model mean to your family? I know you're a mother,
yeah,
right? Uh, it's bigger than you.
absolutely. Um, my beauty, the beauty in New Black Wall Street, with me having a son, two sons,
Mm-hmm.
is him being able to be in the presence of people who are entrepreneurs. I want him to
Big deal.
be used to seeing Black people in business. I
Mm-hmm.
want him to be accustomed to seeing Black ownership. I want him to be a person who's not, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've just met a Black doctor. I want my son to have a community. I want my son to be a child that is recognized now by elders who will say, children need to be surrounded by elders. They need to be
Absolutely.
surrounded by people who can come in and communicate and pour into him, because he's
Mm-hmm.
fascinated with it.
Really?
Yeah,
What's his age?
he's 11.
Okay. Okay.
So he comes up here, he walks around, he looks at all of the art, he looks at all of the everything that's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And
he's
it should
very
really be the
inspired.
norm, right? It should be the norm that
Oh,
our
this is
kids,
for
like you
them.
said. Yeah.
This is for them.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to hand them something. I want them to be able to verbalize and vocalize what's going on.
So tell me, Monique, who
Mhm.
is your target customer? Do you have a target? If you're watching the incline, we want to make sure that her target knows, or you know, her shop and who she's looking for, right? So when you come into
Mhm.
the retail space,
Mhm.
you'll know to come right here.
Anybody that is interested in a change or interested in a look that is going with them to the next level. A lot of women are evolving. And I'm one of those women that wants to comfortably take you out of your comfort zone.
I like it.
This won't be a snatching of the tape, if you will. You're not stuck to anything.
Right.
But my goal is to get women dressing like women again. The pandemic has comforted us. So, not to take away the comfort, because I learned a lot.
But I
But
would say there's a level of sophistication in the pieces
absolutely,
that she carries, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
More pouring into the woman's majesty of herself,
Mm.
the side of her presence, the side of her majesty, the side of her grace, feminine. Um, the feminine energy is coming into our rightful place now. So the tides are changing. Um, Queen Afua, which is one of my online mentors I've listened to, said something a couple of months ago. I heard, and I've been quoting it for a minute. Uh, Black women, we will have to heal this planet. And first, we have to heal ourselves. And so, my contribution to this is us healing how we view ourselves and what we wear and how we present ourselves. And a lot of times, healing is doing. And not necessarily what you look like, but how you feel about what you look like. And so, I just want a little small piece of that. If it's just me representing you with a jumpsuit or a dress or a pair of earrings.
Right, because all the accessories go with it, right?
Absolutely. everything. Well, that's who we are.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That's who we are. We are women that can put on a black dress and throw on a pair of earrings, and now it's after 5.
Yeah.
And I don't think we need to be taught that anymore. I think we need to be reintroduced to who we are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so my job is to pour into any woman that wants to be poured into. And I will make it my absolute honor and best to serve this sister with whatever I have to the best of my capacity. And more than likely, 85%. And the only reason I give it 85% and not 100 is because it gives me room to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Is 85 to 95% of the women are pleased. And that's my goal.
That's excellent.
Yeah.
So you got to come and shop. You have to come and shop right here at the New Black Wall Street Market. Come and meet Monique.
Come meet me.
She's awesome. Thank you, sis, for being on the Incline.
So
and we'll see you the next time.
See you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.